We are going to DIY a Leprechaun hat headband today and also a hair clip for St. Patrick's Day. I'm starting off with some green felt and cutting a square about the size that I'd like the base of my hat to be. Folding it into 4 and then cutting a circle out of that. I did have to trim it up just a little bit, and I decided to make it a little bit smaller as well. From there, you're going to fold it up again and then cut out an outer circle and an inner circle. So the outside is going to be the brim of the hat, and this little circle is going to be the top. You're going to take the felt and kind of roughly get the distance, make a rectangle, and that is going to give the height to your hat. Now we're going to go through the process of connecting the circle to the rectangle. So that might be a little tricky, but I'll show you it's actually pretty easy. You're just going to use a simple stitch, and as you go around the circle, you'll just need to curve that rectangle. I did try this with hot glue. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but I did prefer doing it with the needle and thread. Once you get to the end, you'll have a little bit of a flap, and so you'll just want to make sure that it looks good and round, trim off a bunch of excess. And I do wish that I had stitched it after I turned it right side out, but it still looks pretty good this way. I was still happy with the results. So we'll just stitch that up the side. And then it's time to connect the brim. So remember to keep all of your knots on the outside at this point, because you're going to flip it inside out and you want to be able to hide them. But you're just going to go around. Another lesson that I learned making this, because I didn't have any sort of pattern, was that because of the seam allowance and stitching up the top, it will be a little bit smaller than the circumference you need for the brim that you had pre-cut. So you're going to want to trim it first and then connect the seams together, because I kind of had 2 seams on this. It looked a little wonky, but again, I still think it's really cute and you can kind of hide it. As you see, I kind of trimmed it and then I'm stitching up one side. I'll trim it further and I'll just have a different seam there than on the top portion of the hat. So once that is all stitched up, go ahead and turn it inside out. Isn't it just cute? So make sure to trim it. Everything looks nice and smooth and good. Then I'm taking some black felt, and I will also take some yellow felt. The yellow, going to do kind of a square rectangle, and then fold it in half and cut 4 slits through the middle. And then I'll cut out 2 little rectangles from that, so it looks like a belt buckle. Pretty simple. And then the black felt, I cut out a little too big. You want it to be the size of the inner buckle, not the outer buckle, so I just trimmed it down, no big deal. And then carefully weave it through there. At this point, you can stitch it on with more needle and thread, but I didn't think that the look would change much, so I just used hot glue because it was easier at this point. And that is your basic hat. Really cute. You can use it for a table decoration or something else, but I decided I wanted to make it into a headband. I mentioned that I tried with hot glue gun. I really did not prefer it. I burned my hands more. It really didn't save a lot of time, and you do see the hot glue. So, I mean, that's up to you whether you'd like to do that, but I just prefer the stitching myself. But that's just kind of an idea to show you how it turned out. As for making the headband, obviously you can find a green headband, but I just found a 3-pack at the Dollar Tree and cutting off little slits of ribbon, and then hot glue is my best friend for this in how I wrap it around. Just be careful not to burn yourself. In the middle, I decided to secure it with just a little bit of hot glue, just because I felt like it would tame it a little bit better, and it's kind of hard to find the right angle to make it a very smooth wrap. So here is my finished headband. Then I just took a Sharpie and lightly marked where I wanted to hot glue it, and it is good to go. So if for some reason it does get a little bumped or crushed, you can still stick your finger in and kind of push it out. As for making a hair clip, I decided to use the hot glue one that I had made, not waste that. So you just glue a little on there, and then I've got these little barrettes. And there you go, pretty simple. I thought they were really fun, really cute, and I just love to DIY things. So let me know in the comments down below, and by that thumbs up button, what you think of these. If you try it out, tag me on Instagram, I'd love to see them. I hope you have a wonderful day, and may the luck of the Irish be with you. I'll see you on Tuesday with another St. Patrick's Day themed video.